Hello once again, welcome to example 3 on the addition and subtraction of set that I started with you in the previous videos. In the previous videos, we started learning about addition and subtraction of set, and we've done a detailed explanation on what it means to add set and also subtract set, and also we solved some examples on it as well in the previous videos, and I hope you all understood it and you enjoy the lesson as well. This is a continuation to solve another example with you so that you get a perfect understanding of it. So this is example 3. It means we've already done example 1 and 2 in the previous videos, and I will advise that you do well to watch all the previous videos that I've done on set. Okay, from the beginning, from the scratch, watch all the videos that I've done on set, okay, because they lay the foundation, the basic knowledge and understanding that you need. I've done all those explanations in the previous videos. Okay, we started with simplification of set. Okay, now we are on addition and subtraction of set. Okay, and this question that I have on the board, the example 3, it demands that we apply the knowledge that we've had on the simplification of set and also on addition and subtraction of set. We are going to apply all those knowledge to be able to handle this example. Okay, so if you don't have any knowledge on simplification of set and also on addition on set, you struggle with this one. Okay, because we need the understanding on both the simplification of set and also the addition and subtraction on set to be able to handle this example 3 that I have on the board. So please do well to watch all the videos that I've done on the set, okay, so that you can easily understand this one as well. And please don't forget to like the video and also share them after watching. And if you are watching for the first time, please do well to follow the page as well. Let's go ahead and handle the example 3 that I have on the board. So example 3, it says that simplify square root of 50 plus square root of 32 minus square root of 162. Okay, so we have to simplify square root of 50 plus square root of 32 minus square root of 162. Okay, so let me write my solution down and let me repeat the question. Okay, so we have square root of 50 plus square root of 32 minus square root of 162. Okay, we have to simplify this one, and we've learned from the previous videos that under the addition and subtraction of set, we can only add like terms, okay, and we can only subtract like terms. Okay, so looking at the question that we have here, there isn't any like terms for us to add or subtract. Okay, so check, we have square root of 50 plus square root of 32 minus square root of 162. There isn't any like terms to add. Okay, and also we've established that we can only add like terms and we can only subtract like terms. So having this one that doesn't have any like terms to add or subtract, what you have to do is that now we need to think of simplifying each of the terms given. Okay, so the square root of 50, we are going to simplify it. I've taught you simplification of set, so we are going to use that approach to simplify square root of 50. Okay, then we are going to simplify the square root of 32 as well. Then we simplify square root of 162 as well. Then now we get some like terms to group and simplify. Okay, that's the way to go about it. Okay, so please hope the explanation is clear enough. Let me go over one more time. Okay, we have established that under the addition and subtraction of set, okay, we can only add like terms and we can only subtract like terms. Okay, so looking at the question we have here, there isn't any like terms for us to add or simplify. Okay, so the best thing to do is that we have taught you simplification of set. Okay, so we are going to use that knowledge to simplify the square root of 50. Okay, then also simplify the square root of 32 and also simplify the square root of 162. Then afterwards you see that there will be like terms to group and simplify. So that is how to go about it. Okay, so now let's start with the square root of 50. We are going to simplify it using the knowledge that we've had on simplification of set. Okay, so If you don't have any knowledge on simplification of SURD, you will struggle with this one. That's why I keep on advising you to watch all the previous videos that I've done, because simplification of SURD, I've taught it, okay, in the previous video. So search for it and watch it so that you can easily understand this. Okay, so now the square root of 50, to simplify it, we are going to look for two numbers that can multiply to give you back the 50. Okay, but those two numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square. Okay, and I've explained what a perfect square is to you in the previous videos. Okay, so let me repeat it again. To simplify the square root of 50, we are going to look for two numbers that can multiply to give you back the 50, but those two numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square. Okay, so the two numbers that comes in mind will be 2 times 25. Okay, please hope you agree with me. 2 times 25 gives the 50. Okay, and the 25 is a perfect square, so we can use 2 times 25. So in place of 50, we are going to write 2 times 25, or 25 times 2 is the same thing. Okay, please hope the explanation is clear enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify this one. So bring your equal sign, then this one, the square root of 50, the 50, I'm going to replace with 25 times 2. Okay, I hope you agree with me up to this point. Okay, so as I've explained that, you look for two numbers that can multiply to give you back the 50, but the two numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square, and the two numbers we can think of will be 2 times 25. 2 times 25 gives 50, and the 25 is a perfect square, so we can use the 2 times 25. Okay, so in place of this 50, I'll write 25 times 2, or 2 times 25 is the same thing. Okay, so bring your square root, then in place of the 50, write 25 times 2. Please hope the explanation is clear enough and you understand it. Okay, now the square root of 32 also, we are going to simplify it. So again, the same process, we are going to look for two numbers that can multiply to give back the 32, but those two numbers, one of it needs to be a perfect square. Okay, and the two numbers you can think of will be 2 times 16. 2 times 16 gives 32. Okay, and the 16 is a perfect square, so it means we can use the 2 times 16. So in place of the 32, I'm going to write 16 times 2, or 2 times 16 is the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to bring my addition sign, which is here. Okay, so just repeat your addition sign, which is here, then you bring your square root, then the 32, you replace it with 16 times 2. I hope you agree with me up to this point. Okay, then now minus, now the square root of 162 also, we are going to simplify it using the same process. You look for two numbers that can multiply to give you 162, but one of the numbers needs to be a perfect square, and the two numbers you can think of will be 2 times 81. Okay, 2 times 81 gives 162, and the 81 is a perfect square, so we can use 2 times 81. Okay, so in place of the 162, we are going to write 81 times 2, or 2 times 81 is the same thing. Okay, so bring your square root, and don't forget that your negative sign, you have to bring it. So bring your square root, then the 162, I'm going to replace it by 81 times 2. Okay, please hope the explanation is clear enough and you understand it up to this point. Now, I've explained to you in the previous videos, that's the simplification of SURD, that now having this, okay, the square root affects everything down here. So the square root affects the 25 and also affects the 2. Okay, so we can separate them by writing it as square root of 25 times square root of 2. We've done this under the simplification of SURD, so we are applying the same knowledge here. Okay, so the square root of 25 times 2, the square root sign affects each term here. Okay, the square root will affect the 25 and the square root will affect the 2 as well. So we can separate them, okay, by writing it as square root of 25 times square root of 2. Please, I hope you agree with me. Okay, we learned this under the simplification of SURD. Okay, we are applying the same knowledge here. Okay, then bring your plus, which is here, Okay, now this square root will also affect everything down here. So the square root sign will affect the 16 and also affect the 2. So we can separate them by writing it as square root of 16 times square root of 2. Please hope you agree with me. Then let's go ahead, bring your minus sign which is here, your minus sign. Then this one also, the square root will affect everything which is here. So the square root sign will affect the 81 and also affect the 2 as well. So we can separate them by writing it as square root of 81 times square root of 2. And I hope you agree with me up to this point. Okay, now let's simplify further. The square root of 25, you know the answer. Okay, square root of 25 gives 5. Okay, so you write of 5 there, then times. Now the square root of 2 does not give a whole number as an answer. Okay, square root of 2 will not get a whole number as an answer. So you just maintain the square root of 2, repeat it back. Okay, since you will not get a whole number as an answer for square root of 2, you just need to repeat your square root of 2 back. Okay, so we have 5 times square root of 2 plus now square root of 16, we know the answer. Square root of 16, the answer is 4. Okay, so we bring our 4, so 4. Then times square root of 2, we will not get a whole number as an answer for it. So just repeat your square root of 2. So square root of 2, then minus square root of 81, we know the answer to be 9. Okay, square root of 81 is 9. So you bring your 9 times square root of 2, we will not get a whole number as an answer for it. So you just repeat your square root of 2. I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, now let's go ahead and simplify further. We need to multiply. We have 5 times root 2. 5 times root 2 gives 5 root 2. Okay, I've explained this one a lot in the previous videos. Okay, so this is how to multiply it. The 5 here will multiply the coefficient of the root 2. Okay, since there's no specified number here, the coefficient of this root 2 is 1. Okay, if there's no specified number there, it means the coefficient is 1. So it's going to be 5 times the 1, which gives 5, and you bring your root 2, so 5 root 2. Okay, please hope the explanation is clear enough. So this is how the multiplication goes. 5 times root 2, it gives 5 root 2, and the reason being is that this coefficient of the root 2 is 1. So the 5 here multiplies the coefficient. Okay, so 5 times 1 gives 5. 5 times the root 2 gives 5 root 2. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, now bring your addition sign, which is here. It is plus. Now 4 times root 2. 4 times root 2 will give 4 root 2. As I've explained that the 4 multiplies the coefficient of this root 2, and the coefficient of this root 2 is 1. So 4 times 1, 4, and so it gives us 4 root 2. So 4 times root 2 gives 4 root 2. I hope the explanation is clear enough. Okay, now minus, because you bring your minus sign, which is here, 9 times root 2 will give 9 root 2. I hope by now you understand why we are getting the 9 root 2, because the 9 multiplies the coefficient of this root 2, which is 1. If there's no specified number there, it means the coefficient is 1. So 9 times the 1, 9. So 9 root 2. Okay, you bring your minus, which is here. Please hope the explanation is clear enough. Let's go ahead and simplify further. Okay, so now we have 5 root 2 plus 4 root 2 minus 9 root 2. You can see that they are like terms. Okay, so we can simplify them. Okay, we can simplify them by adding this first 2, then the answer we get, we join it with the last one. Okay, so we are going to do the 5 root 2 plus the 4 root 2, okay, step by step. Then the answer we get, we join it with the minus 9 root 2, then we simplify further. Okay, so my 5 root 2 plus 4 root 2, it's going to give me 9 root 2. I hope you agree with me. We've done addition and subtraction of set. Okay, so the 5 root 2 plus the 4 root 2, for you to add them, you deal with the coefficient. Okay, so the coefficient of this root 2 is 5, and the coefficient of this root 2 is 4. Okay, so 5 plus the 4, it gives 9. Then you just pick one of the root 2 and attach to 8. That's why we are having 9 root 2. Then minus this 9 root 2, which is here. So we did the first 2, which gives us 9 root 2, minus this 9 root 2. Okay, now check very well. 9 root 2 minus 9 root 2, it will be 0. Okay, so the same process, we deal with the coefficient, which is 9 minus 9 is 0. So we get 0 root 2, and 0 root 2 is 0. Okay, so 9 root 2 minus 9 root 2, it gives us 0. Okay, so this is the final answer for simplifying root of 50 plus root of 32 minus root of 162. The final answer is 0. I hope the explanation is clear enough and you understood it as well. So if you type this whole thing on the calculator will give you a straight answer, which is 0. So if you like, you can check, type root of 50 plus root of 32 minus root of 162, and the calculator will give you a straight answer, which is 0. But this is the process you need to go through to arrive at the answer, which is 0. Please don't forget to like the video and also share the video as well. I'll see you again in another video whilst we solve more examples on this. Bye bye.